Hello and welcome to the Complete Hire Equipment WRFL Round 5 preview. Andrew Wilson here along with Pepe Cavalier. Welcome, Pepe.
Thanks, Willow.
Let's get stuck into round 1 with Caroline Springs taking on Albion.
I'm going to go with Caroline Springs. They got their second win of the season last week against Sunshine. It was a pretty impressive performance, Willow. So 2-2 through the first month, not too bad for the Lakers. Against the struggling Cats, as we know, 0-4. So Caroline Springs for me.
Agree, Caroline Springs to win that one. Deer Park coming off a big loss last week, very unexpected. They take on another team coming off a loss in Hoppers Crossing. How do you think this one will go?
Well, this year I don't tip against Deer Park. I kind of regretted it last week, rather. They were well beaten by Altona. I wouldn't read too much into that, though. I think the Lions this week too strong. Yeah,
I'm going to go for the Lions at home as well. Point Cook got their first win in Division 1, but they get a tough task this week when they host Altona.
They do. They'll get some confidence, though, from a win last week, even though it was only against the Cats, but still, it's nice to get the 4 points, especially for the Dogs in their first season up in Division 1, Willow. So I think Altona, though, will be too strong, and they themselves will have plenty of confidence after beating Deer Park last week.
Vikings to me as well. Spotswood take on Werribee Districts. Spotswood seem to have the wood over Werribee Districts in their past few encounters. Is this the round where Werribee can get the job done against the Woodsmen?
I don't know. I think if it was at home, maybe, but I think Spotswood, they like it down at Donald McLean Reserve. So I think the Woodsmen, as you mentioned just before, do have the wood on the Tigers, and I'm going to go with them.
All right, I'm going to go the Tigers in that one. Hopefully they break the hoodoo. And St Albans are very much improved in 2019. Take on Sunshine.
Yeah, and a pretty, I don't want to say the dreaded term honourable loss, but it was a little bit like that against a Tigers outfit last week that are a very, very good team. We know that St Albans don't like the term honourable loss, so I do expect them to beat Sunshine. No, they're playing some good footy, and I think they're going to be one of those teams challenging for maybe that 4th or 5th spot in the top 5 come the end of the year. Yeah,
St Albans for me as well. Division 2, Newport take on North Footscray.
Newport have had a very good start to the year, Willow, 3-1 through the first month against a North Footscray side that's a little bit up and down. They had a good performance last week, but just fell short of Point Cook Centrals, who are going to be a good side in Division 2. We know that. They're also 3-1 through the first month, but I just think the way Newport are playing and at home, they're in good spirits, and I think they'll win.
Yeah, I'm going to go Newport to beat North Footscray in that one as well. A bit of the surprise package of Division 2 is Point Cook Centrals, who are currently sitting second on the ladder. They take on first place at Wyndham Vale. So massive game for Point Cook Central to see where they're really at against the benchmark of Division 2 in Wyndham Vale. Who wins?
I think Wyndham Vale, just because we know their quality and they're unbeaten. So no one has been able to knock them off so far. Perhaps Point Cook Centrals can do it, especially at home, but Wyndham Vale were very impressive last week. They really flexed their muscles against Parkside, so I expect them to continue their unbeaten record this week.
Yeah, I'm going to go the Falcons to beat Point Cook Centrals, and West Footscray take on Manor Lakes. One of these sides is finally going to get their first win of the season.
Well, maybe. It could be a draw, but Manor Lakes, I think, so far, playing the better football. They've been unlucky a few times. It's probably fair to say the result, certainly 0-4, doesn't reflect the football they're playing. For the Roosters, it's all about putting together 4 quarters. They've shown glimpses, but haven't been able to put it together over the entirety of a match. So I think I'm going to lean the way of the Storm, but it should be a pretty good game. Yeah,
I'm going to go West Footscray just because it's at home. Yeah. And the final game of Division 2 is Yarraville Seddon Eagles taking on Parkside. This is our match of the day on Saturday on 88.9 Win FM. Tune in from 1:30. That's 5th, Yarraville Seddon. Bit of a surprise. And Parkside are having a fantastic start to the year. They're in 3rd. How do you see it?
Well, I'm going to go for Yarraville Seddon. I think they're just starting to find their feet a little bit. Some big-name players set to return over the next few weeks. A bit of a slow start for the Eagles. Perhaps a bit of a, obviously not a premiership hangover, but a grand final hangover.
3 of them.
Yeah, big hangover. But they're going to have to be better than they've been to play a Parkside team who are 3-1, so they've started well. And the only team they've lost to, obviously, was the Falcons last week. So we know they're up for the fight, the Parkers, and they will not accept a performance like that, and they will bounce back this week. So it should be a very good game, but I'm on the Eagles.
Yeah, Eagles for me as well. Now, Division 3, Braybrook take on Glen Ordon. Glen Ordon on fire so far in 2019, on top of the ladder, undefeated.
Well, if any team's a surprise packet, I suppose, across all three divisions, you'd have to say the performance the Hawks have put in over the first month, unbeaten, is the team that probably we didn't expect to be in a position that they are right now. Sitting pretty on top of the ladder, so they're looking very good. And it would be unfair to not tip them this week, so I'm going to tip Glen Orden. Braybrook need to bounce back. Disappointing last week. Only 7-point loss to Sunshine Heights, but they're not quite where they feel like they should be. I think the Brookers could be an interesting game at Penal Reserve, but I think the Hawks.
Yeah, Hawks for me as well. Laverton take on Sunshine Heights.
Yeah, Laverton, it was a funny game last week against Auburn-Vale. I mean, they had their glimpses, but they really struggled, I suppose, forward of centre. Just their skill let them down. You couldn't question their endeavour. There's no doubt about that, the Magpies. But I suppose if they're a chance of playing finals, they really need to start winning a few games, even though they've only played 5 so far, so still a long way to go for the Magpies, but big confidence boost for the Dragons last week over Braybrook, so I'm going to tip them.
Yeah, I'm going to go Laverton as well. Tarneet take on Auburn-Vale. This would be a beauty.
It should be, but I think if Auburn-Vale are a chance, to be honest with you, Willow, they're going to have to play better than they did last week. I haven't seen them, obviously, in the time I've been doing radio. I know you have a long time ago, but coming down from Division 2, we expected them to be quite a strong team. They have been, but they didn't quite look like the powerhouse that we thought they might be last week against Laverton. Although they did win quite comfortably, it wasn't the most convincing display, and if they're going to challenge Tarneet, they're going to have to put in a better effort, so I'm going to go for the Titans.
Yeah, Titans for me, because it's a home game for them. Yeah. And the final game of round 5 is Wyndham Suns taking on North Sunshine.
Well, Wyndham Suns as well have been hardly convincing through the first month, 1-3. They were well beaten last week by Tarneet, but you would expect them obviously to get past a North Sunshine team that has been struggling through the first month.
Yeah. Suns for me as well. All right, this has been the Complete Hire Equipment WRFL Round 5 preview. Good luck to your team this weekend.